Motorsports in a climate change world. Climate change is the biggest issue that society faces, and while generally everyone is working to become less wasteful of finite resources, there is one industry that's historically bad for the environment that could actually help tackle the problem. Motorsports, which include NASCAR, IndyCar, and FIA sanctioned sports like F1, are massively popular segments of the sports industry. Most of these motorsports travel all around the world, going from Asia to Europe and the Americas, which, along with the pollution from the race cars themselves, creates a problem for the sport, as climate change becomes the most pressing issue faced by the world today. But motorsports, and especially F1, is helping the world solve the issue of climate change through promotion of environmentally friendly transportation alternatives and advancing technologies that are being transferred to the automotive industry. Formula One and other motorsports are, and always have been, about brand recognition and enticing customers to buy the brand's cars. Consumers want to buy a car that has similarities with the cars their favorite drivers race, because that brings them closer to the sport they love. The relevance that this has to solving climate change is by essentially making electric cars cool by racing them. Two factors contributing to EVs not catching on in a wider audience are the negative stigmas around them and their high price, both of which could be remedied by promoting them through motorsports. If electric car races were shown before NASCAR or Formula One events, then they could be introduced in a new and exciting way to an audience that is in general currently uninterested in EVs. Although attempts have already been made to promote electric cars through racing series such as Formula E and Extreme E, the issue is audiences didn't already exist, so the sport has to rely on people choosing to watch it over the other existing sports. And the data supports that it is not as effective to make a standalone electric racing series as it is to integrate one into an already existing motorsport. 316 million people watched Formula E in 2020. However, Formula One had 1.5 billion viewers in the same year. So right now, motorsports can help solve the climate change problem by including more electric or sustainable racing events as a way to grow the popularity of electric and environmentally friendly forms of transportation across the world. Motorsports are the pinnacle of automotive engineering, as it solves the toughest challenges that automotive machinery can face. This makes motorsports the perfect testbed for new technologies, which can then be transferred to a broader scale. This transfer of technologies that are safer and more efficient, or just all around better, has already been seen with things like rear-view mirrors in the 50s, all-wheel drive and active suspension in the 80s, and disc brakes in the 90s. All of these technologies serve a slightly different purpose in motorsports than they do in your own car, but without motor racing, none of these technologies would have been implemented as soon as they were. More recently, and more relevant to the environment, is Formula One's use of hybrid powertrains since 2014. These engines are the most efficient available today, according to Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team, who reported that the F1 M018 EQ Power Plus power unit reached a thermal efficiency of over 50%. Advances in battery and energy recovery technology mean that hybrid systems and overall efficiency of road cars has improved substantially. For example, the Toyota Prius has become 12% more fuel efficient since 2014. But moving forward, what can F1 and other motorsports do to help solve the climate challenge? As a matter of fact, F1 has already recently pledged to become completely carbon neutral by 2030, and part of their plan to achieve that is by introducing a 100% sustainably fueled second-generation hybrid engine that will be carbon neutral but maintain the power and speed we expect, says Ross Brawn, the F1 managing director. The use of sustainable fuels will not only help F1 become more environmentally friendly, but will also help advance the technology so that it can be applied to high carbon emitting transportation industries like trucking, shipping, and aviation. So while it may seem that motorsports is just a waste of resources, it can actually be a valuable tool as we tackle climate change together. Now, obviously, motorsports are only a small piece of the puzzle, and it takes widespread awareness and willingness to help in order for the climate challenge to be solved. Thank you.